Good evening, world. It's Ivan the Mayor. Hope you guys enjoyed my show I made this morning. I cleaned the house. Yes, I did. Took me 3 hours to clean it. I finished cleaning the house around 3:30, 3:40ish around there. 3:30. Then I got my money. I went to the store. I got my stuff. And when I arrived home, I just finished watching my recent video that I made earlier this morning. Yeah, now it's like coming to 6 o'clock, right? What are you eating? The chicken sandwich. It's really good. Kind of tastes like Subway teriyaki. Chicken with barbecue sauce, salt, garlic powder, onion powder. I mix it. I toast the bread. Then it's with tomatoes, lettuce, and mayonnaise. Really good. All right, was Xanus really a masterpiece? Oh yeah, it is. You guys will when you read it, man. Ivan, show us more. No, I don't want to spoil so far. I already spoiled enough of the story for you guys, man. I'm not shooting you guys anymore. Some sour. Ivan, did you clean your room? Yeah, I did. I cleaned my room too. Cleaned the upstairs, the basement. I also cleaned my room. That's why it took me 3 hours. Well, fucking tired, man. My hard worker though. I did like thorough cleaning upstairs. I moved all the couches. I swept under the couches. I moved the carpet and swept under the carpet. I took out like all the bunch of shoes, put on the side. I mopped it. I sweeped it. I have to organize the shoes. Organize the shoes in another shoe place. I had to wipe down the cupboards. It's a lot of work. Whereas the basement was not as much work, but it still took me 3 hours. I also cleaned my room too, man. Not near hard worker as I am. I was fucking tired too. And after that, I walked to the store to get my stuff. Yeah. Let's see. Robert didn't upload Nightmares 3. So my guess he's not playing it this year. I don't know. Yeah. Fuck. The bones. Yeah. So Ivan Zayas is the greatest fan ever written. Yes, it is. It's a masterpiece. But there are some fans who might like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones better, obviously. Everyone's not the one thing. But I highly doubt them, man. Those books are not as entertaining as my books. You guys read, right? And I know what I'm talking about. I read Lord of the Rings. And even though Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece, it's not as entertaining as my book. My book is more entertaining than Lord of the Rings when you read it. You get a different feeling. It's more fresh. Lord of the Rings is more dry. Richer world building, richer speech and dialogue, but the characters feel more dry. The story feels more dry. It doesn't feel as fresh and like magical as my story. You guys what I'm saying? Yeah, I was just saying, yeah. That you guys read, right? Because even though Tolkien was a genius, even he doesn't have the heavenly gift. I have the heavenly gift, man, the heavenly genes from my father. That's why my book is not normal when you read it. It's a masterpiece, man, yeah. So my book is a masterpiece, and it's not normal when you read it. It's an amazing story. He's Ivan, I love your book. I know my book is sick. Sick story. Amen. Yeah. Amen. Ivan, show us more. No, guys. I don't want to spoil stuff for you, man. I already showed you enough. I showed you quite a lot. Yeah, I mean, I showed you guys a good, what, like, I don't know, 18 scenes of my book. Like, I don't want to spoil any more in store for you, man. I even showed you quite a bit of my big scenes. I don't want to spoil store for you. See, maybe when you read it, I don't want to spoil store for you, Sarah. Yeah, your book's a masterpiece, man. How do you do that, man? It's a gift that, guys. God gave me the heavenly gift. I have the heavenly gift. You guys have the earthly gift, don't you? I'm saying, you know. Yeah. And fantasy is a tough novel to write. It's very difficult to write fantasy because you have to create a fictional world and make it believable to the reader. That's why fantasy, that's why a lot of authors, their dream is, I want to write an amazing fantasy novel. But fantasy's tough, man. Fantasy's arguably the toughest genre to tackle as an author, as an aspiring author. Romance is a little bit tough too because you have to be good at displaying emotion on the page. But fantasy is by far the most difficult because you have to create a fictional world. Ivan, what about science fiction? Science fiction is difficult too, but science fiction you can mix reality with fiction. So you mix like real science with it's fictional science fiction, right? So it's not as even that's not as difficult as fantasy. Fantasy, everything is make believe. If you're doing high fantasy like Lord of the Rings, if you're doing low fantasy like Harry Potter, where you're mixing in reality with fantasy, that's easier. Harry Potter is obviously low fantasy because J.K. Rowling mixes the real world, real places with fantasy, whereas high fantasy is a completely fictional world like Lord of the Rings and my book, Last of Us, Game of Thrones. That's high fantasy, obviously. Like Hogwarts is in England, so it's easy. So Harry Potter is low fantasy. Like even though it's fantasy, it's low fantasy because J.K. Rowling mixed her fantasy with real locations like England, right? Like Harry Potter lives in England, right? With his yeah, with his family, right? Yeah, you guys read the books, right? Yeah. Yeah. Are you going to swim today, Ivan? Maybe. I might go for a swim. I might watch. I think I'm gonna watch Bad Guys 2 tonight before I go to bed. I'm gonna watch Bad Guys 2 or Superman and Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. I saw Thunderbolts like 3 weeks ago. I saw Thunderbolts. That was a good movie. It was better than Captain America 4, but you know. I saw Sinners. Sinners was an amazing movie. Sinners was my favorite movie I've seen this year so far. Out of all movies I've seen, right? Sinners was an amazing movie. Yeah, and that was a sick movie. Yeah, Sinners was a fucking masterpiece, amazing movie, man. Whereas Captain America 4 was okay, but it wasn't that good, obviously. You know, Brave New World wasn't that good. It was okay, but Thunderbolts was better than Captain America 4. I enjoyed it more than Captain America 4, right? Yeah. I'm gonna go upstairs and make a coffee for myself in a good second, guys. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you are gifted. Yes, I am. I'm very gifted, obviously. Yeah. I guarantee you when I made my video 4 years ago, when I talked about how my book Xanus will be an embarrassment and all the authors are gonna feel like shit, you guys probably thought I was lying. And you read section of my book, you're like, holy shit, man, Ivan's book's fucking unique. It's special, man. Yeah, because I have the heavenly gift that you guys can have, obviously. Yeah. And I guarantee you, it was a public embarrassment. Yeah, I mean, it was. We read sections of your book, we're like, holy shit, there's something different about Ivan's book. It's more entertaining than characters on one page. How the fuck does he do that? Yeah, it's a gift to have. God gave you the heavenly gift. God gave you the heavenly gift. Amen. Ivan, you gonna make another video tonight? No. Two videos for today is enough. After this, I'm gonna watch a show, and I probably will go swimming. When I ride back home, I'll watch Bad Guys 2. I love Bad Guys 1, the anime movie. I'm gonna watch Bad Guys 2 tonight. I'm waiting for my first welfare check. I had to. They said I was denied, but I went to the office and I had to fix it, obviously. And I gave my record of employment for Denny's and Coco Fruity, but I have to do the online survey thing. I have to do that, and I have to see my progress with welfare back office. I might get my first check maybe in November, maybe, man. So I have to rely on my Denny's money, which is enough money for me for 2 weeks. It's enough money for me to get a pack of smokes for like 13 days, but yeah. First day I can get like my 6 beers and smoke and maybe 2 slices at Bob's, And after that, I just get my pack of smokes. It's enough money for me until I get paid the next 2 weeks. I get paid next Sunday, so yeah. Here's that, guys. I'm gonna go upstairs and get make some coffee myself. I'll be back in a second. Guys, on the show. Don't hate me, son. Ready, guys. Go upstairs to make my coffee. So in a good 10 minutes, I'm gonna go upstairs and get my coffee. Alright, we're gonna make another video tonight? No. Two videos for today's enough. Then after this, I'm probably gonna go swimming, and then when I arrive back home, I'm gonna watch Bad Guys 2, the movie. I'm pissed off because I wanted to watch Little Nightmares 3, but rather than upload Little Nightmares 3. Yeah. That's too bad, huh? Don't hate him, yeah. Yeah, man, your book is like divine magic. Yeah, it is. Divine magic. Well, Ivan, show us volume 3. No, I'm not showing you volume 3. I don't want to spoil the story for you. Yeah. Volume 3 is when shit really gets deep and dark. See when you read it, I don't want to spoil the story for you. That's why Xanus is a horror fantasy novel when you read it. It's a horrific novel when you read volume 3. It's deep, it's cinema, it's deep, it's dark. Ivan, do Ephesus and the answers jump on the page? Oh yeah, they do. In volume 3, it's cinema, man. You know how Aratat jumps on the page in volume 1 and volume 2? Ephesus jumps on the page when you read that passage. It's like cinema. I'm not lying, guys. It's like cinema on the page. The Ancestors, cinema 2 in volume 3. And the speech that they give, the speeches and everything, and the war and everything, all cinema, man. Cinema. Pure cinema. Yeah. You know, finally hit Peter Jackson's mind, yeah, Ivan, this will be buried by Lord of the Rings. That'll be buried by Lord of the Rings. I think it's something like Prince of Egypt for the Axis of Sapphires. Something like Prince of Egypt, yeah. He's like, Ivan, G1 2 pat you on the shoulder. You guys don't know what lies ahead in the mountains. And said, Ivan, you're looking at the mountains. This is Lord of the Rings. Oh, I know, he's Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. Yeah, man. Yeah. I love your book. I don't. My book is sick. It's a sick book. My book, right? Masterpiece. Yeah. Oh, even show us more, man. Well, do you guys want me to spoil the whole story for you? Like, that's why I can't show you more, guys. Yeah. Well, volume 1 and 2, you guys are kind of ready to have an idea what's going on, because I told you my idea about the dungeon and the Exodus, but like, you don't know the ins and outs of the story, but you have an idea of what the plot's about. But for volume 3, you guys don't have a clue. That's why I'm not showing volume 3. I don't want to spoil the story for you. Is that right? I don't want to spoil the story for you. Yeah. Or can I show you one more scene? I keep saying one more scene in young Tactius. And maybe the end of the prologue. The prologue is by far the worst chapter in my book. The prologue is okay, but it's still entertaining enough to keep you as you guys read it, right? But the prologue, the scene when Tactius talks to Queen Sarah in private, that's one of my big scenes in the prologue. Obviously, I can show you the end of the prologue, just a little bit of the end. You guys already know about Tactius the First, obviously. You know, yeah, we know about Tactius the First, yeah, obviously. You don't see him until volume 3, so I think that kind of answers your question about Tactius the First, obviously. I won't spoil the story for you. Yeah. Yeah, I can show you one scene in young Tactius, just a small little scene when they're in the brewery. And I can show you the end of the prologue. And that's it, guys. But I'm not showing you much of the scene. It's just a little scene. But, and after this, guys, I mean it. I can't show you anymore because I don't want to spoil the story for you. I'm gonna show you like a quick maybe like page of it. And when you read it, you're gonna be hooked again too, because my book is sick, obviously. Yeah. Put the lights on. I'll show you the end of the prologue. Ivan, is the prologue the worst chapter in your book? Yes, it is. The prologue is not as interesting as the other chapters, but still entertaining enough to keep you hooked, obviously. But it's by far the worst chapter in my book, the prologue, right? Because it's a bit more rushed. The prologue, I rush it a little bit because it's just a prologue, right? Obviously. Is Young Tactius one of your worst chapters in your book? Yeah, it is. Young Tactius is an amazing chapter, but it's one of my weaker ones in the book because it's just about Tactius when he's a young kid, obviously. And the prologue, I did have a little bit of writer's block too, a little bit when I wrote in the hospital. The prologue, I had a little bit of writer's block. Landing Chaos, I had writer's block too. Okay, I can show you the end of the prologue. It's not a spoiler because you guys know about Tactius the First, right? So you guys already know, obviously, about Tactius the First. And I can show you a scene in young Tactius when Maramis is like, "You'll be drinking with us." I'm saying when they're in the brewery. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the prologue. The end of the prologue. Okay. Okay, I'll skip the Airtat part with Tactius. I'll just show you a little quick paragraph. I'm going to skip the Airtat part, though. That way I don't spoil. Even though you guys have an idea what happens to Tactius first, I don't want to spoil the prologue. I'll just show you guys this scene here. This is the end of the prologue. I showed you the end of like 4 of my chapters so far. Honestly, you can read this, guys. This is the end of the prologue. The prologue is my worst chapter in the whole book, obviously. I had a little bit of writer's block too when I wrote it, and it's a little bit rushed when you read it. You'll see what I mean when you read it, right? It was rushed, obviously. You can read that, guys. And then, you guys see it? You can keep reading. I'll put the phone back where you can see it well. When you read this, you're going to be hooked again too. But the prologue is my worst chapter in the book, guys. It's not as good as the other chapters. You can read that. All right, you guys see it well. And then you read that. Now this ties in. This scene here ties into the scene you read in Young Tacky, is when Queen Sarah talks about the gift. Yeah, I don't want to spoil the story for you. You can read that. Ivan, what's Tactia's gift? Well, you guys know it's the sword. The sword that's was crafted for him, obviously. You can read that. And this is the end of the prologue. And that's it. That's all I'm going to show you guys the prologue. When you read that, you're going to be hooked again, dude, because my book is sick, obviously. Is that the scene? Wait. Okay. Yeah, I'll skip the scene with Patrice. I don't want to spoil the story for you. Okay, I'll show you this scene here. Ivan, is this one of your most entertaining scenes in Young Tactius? Is this one of your most entertaining scenes in the book? No, it's not. But it's still entertaining enough to keep you hooked, obviously. I'll skip the scene with Patrice. I don't want to spoil the story for you. I'll skip the scene with Patrice. I don't want to spoil the story for you. You can read this. This is not one of my most entertaining scenes in my book at all, but it's still entertaining enough to keep you hooked. This is the Young Tactius scene. I'll show you this, and that's it, guys. I don't want to show you guys anymore. You can read that. This is when they're kids and they're drinking in the brewery, and Maramis and Cass is like, yeah, when you're older, you guys will be drinking with us, and that leads into 20 years later when Tactius is now drinking, as I showed you guys. Yeah, I remember that, Ivan. Yeah, they're talking to the woman. Okay, you guys read that? Yeah, I'm gonna scroll down and read that. Is this one of your most entertaining scenes in your book? No, not at all, man. This is not one of my big scenes at all. But it's still entertaining enough to keep you hooked. Even my non-big scenes are entertaining enough to keep you hooked. When you read this, you're going to be hooked again, because my book is sick, obviously. Okay. You guys see that well? And read that. Pause and read it. Read that. Alrighty. Okay, and that's it, guys. I'll show you this, and that's it. I don't want to spoil any more of the story for you. And that's it. Hope you guys can read that. And that's it, guys. And when you read that, you're going to be hooked again, because my book is sick, obviously. Yeah. And that's it. Ivan, man, you're how do you do it, man? Your book is sick. I know, my book is constant entertainment. Those scenes are not even my big scenes, guys, in the book. And you're still entertaining. Yeah, Ivan, you're still entertaining. Yeah, man, those are not even my big scenes in the book, man. And when you read that, the characters jump on the page. Tactius sounds like a kid, and what? Because I have the heavenly gift that you guys don't have. Don't hate him, said yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go upstairs and get my coffee. Back in a sec, guys. Hope you guys enjoy my show. And that's it, guys. I really mean it, man. I don't want to spoil any more shit. I don't want to spoil any more story for you guys, man. Some sour. Don't hate him, son. Get my coffee, guys. Alrighty, guys, I want to get my coffee. And when I say that's it, guys, I actually really mean it. I know I keep saying that, but I actually really mean it this time. I can't show you anymore because I've been showing you so much snippets of my book. I know you guys love reading my book, but you guys are purchasing my book. I don't want to spoil story for you, man. That's why I skipped the scene with Patrice and everything, because I don't want to spoil story for you with Queen Sarah. You guys read the end of the prologue. You also spoke of wonders. I was saying, yeah. You know, that no generation is like his very eye, man. Your characters jump on the page. I know my book is sick, man. He also spoke of wonders. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hi, your book is sick. I know my book is sick, man. I mean, how do you do it? Every time I read your book, your characters jump on the page, man, and I'm hooked. I know. My book is sick. The answer is money, man. It's money, man, you know. No, I know. You bluff, man. Is your whole book just constantly entertaining when you read it? Yes. Everything I showed you guys, are you guys hooked on the edge of your seat? Yeah, we are. Yeah, the whole book, you're just hooked. Turning the page for hours. I'm online, guys. As the scene I showed you with Tactius and them in the brewery is not even one of my most entertaining scenes in the book at all. Obviously, as young Tactius is one of my weaker chapters, and yet when you read that, you're still hooked, right? Yeah, the prologue is the worst chapter in the whole book because it's a bit rushed. And yet when you read it, you know, as long as that devil lives, nobody's really safe. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? My book is sick, man, yeah. There. Now after this zero, guys, I can't show you guys anymore. I won't spoil story for you. Because Ivan, I love your book. I know my book is sick, I'm saying. When Tactius mentioned the wolves, everyone leaves the restaurant. The sight of them, you know, should you mention those wolves and they leave. That's how horrific the wolves are. Yeah, your book is sick, I know. And Tactius, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and Cassie's like, there are wild animals who will kill you should you stand. All stuff. I mean, are the wolves wild animals? No, they're not, but you have to read Young Tactius to understand what Cassie's meant by saying wild animals. I don't want to spoil story, you'll see when we read the book. Sarah, that's why my book is sick, obviously, yeah. The only thing I'll tell you is that Tactius and Tacitonians, when they're kids, they're ignorant of what's like beyond the walls. They don't know anything about what's outside the walls. But Cassius and Maramis do, and they have to keep it. They have to keep it from what? from Tacitonians and Cassius. You guys read in the end of the prologue. Cassius made a promise that he would train Tactius and Tacitonius. And Queen Sarah says, make no mention of the double wolves to the kids when they're older. And that leads into the rest of the story. I don't want to spoil the story for you. 22 years later, that leads into the story. I don't want to spoil the story. You see everyone read the book. I know the book is sick, obviously. Because I'm looking at a master. This is one of the reasons why I don't read. It's really easier. All right, seriously, this is gonna be a masterpiece. I know, Peter. Relax, calm down. I mean, can I get a bit more in that box set item? Like, no, Peter, ain't 50 million's enough. Stop being greedy. So I'm just messing. That's not money. I want to make a check of that, and that's like $1 billion of that item. Like, no, Peter, you get 850, man. Stop being greedy, sometimes. Yeah. I'm now sick. When you're older, you'll be drinking with us. Yeah, and then 22 years later, when I showed you guys the scene, when Tactius calls that woman a harlot, obviously, and now they're older and they're drinking ale with a whores, obviously, with a woman, the slutty woman, obviously, in the banquet hall, and I'm saying, you guys read that scene, obviously, and that's why they have memories of when they're kids. When I was just now you guys understand the scene when he said when Tactius says when I was just a child. Ale's not served. Will you not bring up those days because we drank the drinks of age? Juice, not ale. I can say whatever I like. And now you guys know, that connects to that scene. Yes, obviously that's why you got to really pay careful attention to my book when you read it. Obviously, because I do a lot of flashback stuff. Not that much flashback stuff, but I do a lot of scenes that connect with the past when they're kids. Quite a bit of scenes when they're kids, so you have to really pay attention when you read my book, obviously. Yeah, even that makes sense. That connects to that scene that you show us today. Yes, they wanted beer, and they're like, you can't drink beer, ale, guys. Just get them their fruit Xanian juice, or Xanian fruit juice. Yeah, and Maramus is like, when you're older, you'll be drinking with us. And they talk about the horse race and everything. Is there a horse race in Xanus? Yes, there is. And 22 years later, there's a horse race in the beginning of the chapter. I won't spoil the story for you. That's a pretty entertaining scene, the horse race. Yeah. Taki's like, I want to be the best warrior in the land. I want to be the best horse racer. You know what I'm saying? You'll see all that when you read 22 years later. I won't spoil the story for you. The horse race. What's the horse race called? Horses X. It's called Horses X. When you read the, I don't want to spoil the story for you. Yeah. Well, I don't believe your whole book is entertaining. That everything I showed you guys hooked and entertained. Yeah. Even my scenes that are not that big in my book are entertaining enough to keep you hooked. The whole thing is entertainment when you read it. I'm not lying to you guys, man. You're going to be hooked from page 1 to the end of the book, man. And you're going to be on the edge of your seat hooked reading it for hours. Isaiah is a book you can't put down. If you're in the zone and because you're so in the zone, you're so entertained by the story. Before you know it, 4 hours go by and you're still reading the book. Holy shit, it's been 4 hours. But the 4 hours goes by so fast because you're just hooked. Because I know how to control your mind and keep you hooked. You're just hooked turning the page for hours. As a lot of these book nerds on Fantasy Red, Lord of the Rings Reddit, probably will binge my whole book in one day. Like in 8, 9, 10 hours, they binge the whole book, man. And they're just like, holy shit, that's the greatest fantasy novel I've ever read in my life. Man, this is better than Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. Yes, it's better than Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Imagine that scene in the movie. You have like Jimo Hansu, you have Don Cheadle, or like Vigo. Don Cheadle, where I almost like to choose Don Cheadle. You have young Tactius and young Tacitonius. They're drinking in the bar, and like Tactius is curious about the wolves. And when the people hear that, they all like leave the restaurant and they leave the brewery and everything. Oh, should you mention those wolves and they leave? Yeah, because that's how frightening the wolves are. Look at that masterpiece, man. Yeah, man. Bees Ivan, I love your book. That book is amazing. It's an amazing book, man. This is money. It's money, man. Yeah, man. Money. That's it, guys. I'm not gonna show you anymore. I hope you guys are impressed by what I showed you for my snippets in my book. And now you guys know I wasn't lying when I said Xanus is the best fantasy novel written, and it's better than Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings and Way of Kings. I'm not lying, guys. It's a better book, obviously, in terms of entertainment, higher quality in terms of entertainment, and character work. Character work in terms of their presence on the page. In terms of character arcs, they're probably just as good as these other books, obviously. Well, Lord of the Rings, the characters are not written that well. They're okay. Like, Jared Tolkien is not the best at characters. He's better with, like, warbling and, like, plot. But his character work is not that great in Lord of the Rings. It's okay, but it's not the greatest. But Game of Thrones, I heard, has good characters in it. So the character arcs of in Game of Thrones are probably just as good as mine, or mine's a bit better. But my characters jump on the page left and right when you read it. Because when you read Young Tactius and Tacitonians, they sound like kids when you read it. Yeah, I mean, how do you do that, man? Like in a kid chapter, when all of a sudden when Tactius is a kid, because we know it's Young Tactius, when we read it in our heads, they sound like kids. How the fuck you do that, Ivan? I don't know. It's a gift I have. I don't know how you do it, man. It's a gift, man. I have to have the gift, guys. Don't hate him, saying yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. I'm now sick. He also spoke of wonders. That no generation is lucky this one year. Yeah, I'm now sick. I know. My book is sick, man. Yeah. Ivan, what's the worst chapter in your book? The prologue. Prologue is the worst, obviously. Because the prologue is the shortest chapter, and it's a bit rushed when you read it. It's more of a rushed chapter because it's a prologue. That's why I rushed it. It's just a glimpse of Tactius the First's life when Tactius II is born, his son, and that's why it's more rushed than the other chapters. The other chapters are not rushed, but the prologue is a little bit rushed when you read. I almost spoil so for you, but it's still entertaining enough to keep you hooked. The prologue, obviously, which I rewrote. My other prologue was not as good. It was me. It was a brief history of me describing things. I'm like, no. It's better to show, not tell, and I rewrote the whole thing in the hospital. And I had a little bit of writer's block with the prologue, a little bit. What chapters did you have writer's block, Ivan? Landing Chaos, the prologue, and Secret Council and Surprising Arrival. I had writer's block in those three chapters. And the other chapters, I did not have any writer's block, if I remember. Yeah, those three chapters, I had writer's block. Did you have writer's block for Young Tactius? No. Young Tactius, I did not struggle with that. Prologue, I struggled with a little bit. The chapter I struggled with the most was, I think, Secret Council Surprising Arrival. That chapter I really struggled with. That's why it's my worst chapter in Volume 3. Because I had, like, not major, but I had writer's block, man. Even though I'm creative, like, sometimes you write scenes and you're stuck. I was stuck for a while. Okay, how do I progress the story? And I'm saying I had a little bit of writer's block in that chapter. I almost supposed to be 1-3. So, yeah, man. Almost under, guys. Enjoy showing you guys. Now that I'm probably gonna go swimming. When I ride back, I'll watch Bad Guys 2. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, your book is sick. I know. My book is a masterpiece, man. Masterpiece. My book is sick. Yeah. I don't care what. I don't care how good Ivan's book is. It's a bit raw. I like Lord of the Rings better. Yeah, if you like Lord of the Rings better, guys, all you Lord of the Rings Reddit fans, right? If you like Lord of the Rings better, I understand. Jared Tolkien also wrote a masterpiece too. But be honest, man. When you read my book and you read Lord of the Rings, what's more entertaining? Your book, Ivan, yeah. But Lord of the Rings has a richer speech, worlding, and dialogue, but it's not as entertaining when you read it. It feels more dry and a bit more boring when you read it. No offense, but that's how I feel personally. Lord of the Rings is a little bit boring for me when I read it. A little bit, right? Don't hate him, son. Don't hate him, Jared. Talking to him, son. Yeah. Obviously. As Lord of the Rings has quite a bit of boring chapters, especially Fellowship of the Ring. The first half of Fellowship of the Ring was a slog, man. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it is, Ivan. It picks up after the Council of Elrond. That's when the story picks up in Fellowship of the Ring. But the first half of it, Frodo and them are just talking, walking, camping, meeting all these people, right? And then they go through the Barrow Downs, and then Tom Bombadil rescues them from the Barrow Downs. All you Lord of the Rings Reddit fans don't talk about, right? Yeah. And Frodo gets stabbed by the ring wraiths, and then Glorfindel takes him to the ford. And Frodo confronts the ring wraiths, and then he gets the elvish medicine healing in Rivendell, and then you have the Council of Elrond. After the Council of Elrond, that's when the story starts to pick up. After that, I think all the Lord of the Rings fans don't talk about. Yeah, you know what you're talking about, man. Fellowship of the Ring is the first half of the slog. Yeah, the first half of Fellowship of the Ring is a slog, man, to get through. As I read to you guys, right? Then after the Rivendell Council of Elrond, that's when it picks up a little bit. The story gets more entertaining, but it's not like on like my book. My book, the whole thing is entertaining from the prologue all the way to the end of the book, man. It's constant entertainment. Constant entertainment when you read it, man. It's crazy. Sarah? Emma. And that's it, guys. 0. I'm not showing any more of my book, man. I almost post for you. Yeah. I'm sorry, almost an hour. I'll talk for an hour as usual, right? Yeah. Ivan, what's the one thing the fans are gonna wish about your book? You guys are gonna wish my book was longer. Yeah, I wish Ivan wrote like a 1,500-page book, man. Because like I could devour the shit out of Ivan's book. Yeah, I'm such an amazing storyteller that even if I wrote a 1,500-page book, like George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones, it would fly by too because I can keep you hooked for 1,500 pages. I'm the kind of guy who can keep you hooked for 1,500 pages. The 800 pages for Xanus is gonna fly by because it's so entertaining. What? It's already done, and this is 800 pages. Holy shit, that went by fast. Yeah, it went by fast because I hooked you while you were reading the book, man. You were entertained reading my book. That's why I'm a genius. I'm a great genius. Yeah. That was sick, Ivan. You know what I'm saying? I know. I said, should you mention those wolves? Oh, the sight of them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how you know. That's how much the people feel the wolves, man. Honestly, and Cassius and Meramis have to keep that from Tachys and Acetonius when they're kids because they're not ready yet. They're young kids. They can't know about the demon wolves, as you guys read, right? Cassius made a promise to Queen Sarah. Queen Sarah told him, "Yeah, make no mention of the devil wolves to Acetonius and Tachys." And Cassius also he also what Tachys the first. Cassius made a promise to Tachys the first that he would train Tachys and Acetonius too. That's why in young Tachys they're now training, and they don't make any mention of the devil wolves. So I'm gonna say I won't spoil story for you. Yeah. Yeah, but if they made no mention of the devil wolves, Ivan, to Tachys and Acetonius, how come Tachys is asking Cassius about the wild wolves? Well, I don't want to spoil story for you. You'll see what I mean when you read that chapter. You guys don't know what's going on, but you have to read the chapter to understand that scene. I don't want to spoil story for you. You'll see what I mean when you read the book. That's why my book is sick, obviously. It's a sick book, obviously, right? Yeah. And that leads into the big climax in 22 years later, the big scene of what you guys read when Cassius leaves the walls. There's a big climax scene before that. That leads into that scene. I won't spoil story for 20 years later. You'll see when we read the book. I won't spoil story for you. Don't even say, yeah. Your book is sick. My book is sick. This is money, man. Money. You know, say. That's one of the games we'll get to your red eye. They know you were a masterpiece, man. Yeah, man. I'm brand with billions. That's why VJ cries, because even though I'm poor and I have no money, I wrote the masterpiece. That's what I'm saying. I have the keys. That's like 25 billion for me. Victoria Justice wants me to get it all. She wants to power control me. She wants to make my billions, obviously. She may be rich, but she's under the gatekeeper's power control. She got to do it. She sees hell, and she loves me a lot. She wants to be with me. That's why she cries. And she's crazy. She's just a crazy woman. BJ is crazy, I know. Yeah. Yeah, are you kidding me? I don't want to miss out on that life, that moment of life you're living, man. Owning your $1 billion house, your jets, your yacht, starting your big skyscraper studio, and you fund it with your own money, you sign that many hours. I don't want to miss out on Ivan and all the trends and everything. I want to be a part of that, Ivan. I want to be queen with you, Ivan. Yeah, that's why BJ cries. And she's crazy. She's a crazy woman. Sarah? Is Young Tachys one of your best chapters in your book? No, it's one of my weaker ones. Because it's just the life of Tachys as a kid, training his Xanus arts and the other stuff. Entertaining chapter, but it's one of my weaker ones. Obviously, what are your weak chapters in Volume 3? Well, for me personally, the prologue, Young Tachys, Landing Chaos, and Secret Council Surprising Arrival, those like 4 chapters are my weaker ones in the book, and the other ones are all really, really good ones. And even those chapters are really, really good ones, but they're weaker than the other ones. That's my point. Even my weaker chapters in my book are still very entertaining, but they're not as entertaining as the better ones, obviously. But there's some people who might like some of those chapters I just mentioned at the best, right? It just depends how the art hits you. Obviously, there's some people who might even like Land and Chaos the best. I highly doubt that, though. It's most likely going to be Tachys or Colonians, Olympia chapter, or Axis of Sacrifice. That's the best one in Volume 2. Volume 1 is going to be between 22 years later or In Search for the Prince. But some people might like Young Tachys the best. Yeah, I love the whole thing with Tachys as a kid, training his Xanus with Acetonius. It just depends how the art hits you. So. Your book is sick, man. I know, John. My book is sick. I can't wait to be part of that story. I know you're looking at an amazing story, John. A masterpiece, man. Oh. Your book is sick, man. I know, John. My book is sick. I'm saying. It'll be better than the Star Wars sequels. I'll tell you that, John. Yeah, the Star Wars sequels were a mess. Yeah, the Star Wars sequels were a mess, man. Xanus will blow the Star Wars sequels out of the water. It's not even close, yeah. Yeah. I love your book, Ivan. I know, VJ. My book is sick. Yeah. Ivan, if you wrote Very Unique, you think it'll be better than Xanus? No. I think it'd be just as good or maybe a bit. It's not as good, obviously, but it will still be a masterpiece, as you guys read, right? But there's some women who might like Very Unique better because they relate more to women relate more to romance and fantasy. I'm most likely not going to write Very Unique, guys. I don't feel like saving another like $2,000 to get a proofread. Xanus is enough. I'm going to make my billions off that. I'm not going to write Very Unique. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the sight of them knows it. Your book is sick. I know. Yeah. When you're older, you'll be drinking with us. You know, I was saying, yeah, when they're kids, they get the Xanian fruit juice. Then when they're older, they're not drinking ale. As you guys read in a couple months ago when I showed you that scene, right? When I was a child, ale was not served. We never in those days, cousin. We drank juice of age. Juice, not ale. I can say whatever I like. And Taki is a cocky prince, yeah. Your book is sick, I know. My book is sick, I know. Yeah, man. It's a masterpiece, man. And that's it, guys. I can't show you anymore. I won't spoil over. You're purchasing my book. I don't want to spoil over. I'm sorry. Yeah. Will most people buy the ebook? Yes, because the book nerds will just buy the ebook because book nerds don't care about reading it on ebook or print. Whereas the book nerds, the non-book nerds, don't care about reading it on ebook or print on ebook because they're not nerds. They don't have a collection. Whereas the book nerds, like the guys on Fantasy Reddit, romance books Reddit, Lord of the Rings Reddit, the ones who love books, they like having a print edition, obviously. So chances are those guys might purchase the ebook so they can read it right away because yeah, I don't want to wait. I want to read it right away, and then afterwards, they might purchase the print as a collection. Because most book nerds have a library collection of books, right? Like Brian Diffie has like a 6,000 book collection in his library. Brian Diffie will buy the print because Brian Diffie doesn't like reading ebooks. As I saw one of his YouTube videos, he says he doesn't like ebooks. So he'll obviously purchase the print. The problem with the print, it might take 2.5 weeks to arrive in your mail. Obviously. But you have to be careful for spoilers, especially volume 3, right? People can talk on the streets. You gotta be careful with your friends, your family. It's a spoiler for you. You gotta be careful with that stuff. Hey man, did you read Ivan's book, man? No, not yet, man. My book didn't arrive yet. Yo, man, it's the greatest fantasy novel ever written, man. Wait till you read volume 3. It's fucking cinema on the page. I know, man. Don't spoil it for me. Yeah, you gotta be careful for spoilers. Especially volume 3. Because volume 3 is when shit gets deep. Shit gets real, man. It's deep and dark. It's all fucked up, man, volume 3. It's fucked up, volume 3. When you read it right. We'll see when we read my book. I won't spoil it for you. Sounds who's man, your book is sick, man. Yeah, I do catch a little bit of biblical symbolism with your story. Yes, there is biblical symbolism, Sam, in my book when you read it, obviously. Tactius is a prince from the heavenly northern kingdom. he comes down to the cursed south, obviously, and he saves the Southerns from the devil's grasp. Eratat's grasp is the king of the South, obviously. It's almost supposed to for you. Yeah, he gets some biblical system, obviously, and he humbles himself. He takes upon the form of a servant as a farm boy, as a Syrian farmer, and he works for Eli when he knows he has authority over Eli. Just like Jesus has power and authority over the Romans, but as a man, he humbled himself and he paid his taxes to the Roman government, obviously. Because when Jesus supposedly was walked on this earth 2,000 years ago, supposedly, right, according to the Bible, right, it was occupied by the Roman government, Roman rule. That's why Jesus said, "Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, give unto God what is God's." Even though Jesus has authority over the Romans, he humbled himself. He paid his taxes to the Roman government, and yeah, obviously, and he was under Roman rule and authority, obviously. And Jesus was a Jew supposedly in Galilee and Nazareth on earth, right? Supposedly, right? Yeah. You get some symbols in there with Tachys and Eli, obviously. Tachys does chores for Eli. But the difference between Jesus and Tachys, obviously, Tachys is a cocky, arrogant prince. Jesus was not a cocky, arrogant person. He was very humble. He was a good man. Whereas Tachys is a good man, but he's a cocky, arrogant prince and everything. But he still took on a fake identity. He humbled himself. He worked for Eli. You know what I'm saying? And then when he claims to be the prince of Xanus from the heavenly kingdom, no one in the south believes him except for Lithia. Lithia has the faith, obviously. That's why when you read volume 3 before I just come out here, Tachys tells Lithia, you have great faith. Lithia was the only one who believed what Tachys saying was true. And Belle believes what Lithia says. She trusts her with her life. They're best friends. All the other Southerns don't believe it, obviously. That's why when Tachys said, when they asked him, does Eli speak the truth? Are you really the son from the north, the son of royal blood, the son of Tachys the first? And Tachys says, I am. The crowd is shocked, and you get all the whispers. He's really the prince, the last prince, the son of Tachys the first. The stories, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're shocked. Sounds like I caught that I am. Like, yeah, he said I am, and they're all shocked when he said that, obviously. That's what my Peter's Ivan, your book is sick, right? This is Lord of the Rings, though. I know it's Lord of the Rings. That's why Xanus be the greatest fans ever written. It'll be the best movies ever made. And that's it for the snippets, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed what I showed you so far from my book. Yo, Ivan, your book is fucking amazing. I know my book's a masterpiece. Peace out, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, Palmer. Peace out. Don't hate him, son.